Rome was one day a huge power, one day it wasn't. Germany was a huge power, one day it wasn't. Russia was a huge power, England was, and now they're not. So, I mean, we got to keep our eyes open that, hey, there's things out there we can't account for. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that was the great thing about Charles Fort. And he sort of came up with the idea that, really all there is in life is acceptance of these things. Not to take something that happened and put it under the table and say, no, it doesn't follow our rules, it didn't exist, is to embrace it and go, what is really going on in our world? Is our world really this physical? Or is it this, energetic world that, our thoughts can work with, and we almost create this world? It's like we're not victims of the world. We can actually create it, but that's a thing that ties into mind control. So if you can control what people think, then you can control their reality. And so I think that's something that really goes on in our world here. So it's for people to, like you were saying, people need to expand their reality and to understand that there's more to this world, and that they can, change their world through what they think. And they can create a much better, life for themselves. But like anything, it takes hard work. You have to do research in life. And I'm not talking about, technical research. I'm talking about, like, what's good food to eat? What's good water to drink? How should I, look after myself? What should I do mentally, physically? So we kind of lose sight of these things, and we look at, let's watch 12 hours of some program on Netflix instead, And then it's like, well, like the old saying, you reap what you sow with many things. And, some people are asleep and some people are aware. Some people are becoming more awake now. And I think, it's up to us as individuals to choose what we want in that. But we do have an opportunity. I think that, with the internet, and if you, put in the hard work, you can find good sources. It's a lot easier. Like when I was younger, first doing research, a lot of my time was just scouring used bookstores. If anything that had to do with a good psychic or UFO or strange information, I would buy it. I would have to sit down. I'd have to read the whole thing. Sometimes, you get a couple things from it, or, it's like, that was interesting, or it wasn't a very good book. But now, just, a few clicks of a mouse, you can jump around on YouTube, and there's all kinds of researchers and stuff. And, people can, start to develop an idea of what's really going on. There's some interesting things, I think happening in America. I think some things can really turn around. I think there's a lot of secret stuff that's going to start being exposed in America. A lot of stuff that has been, again, with globalism and how some things have happened to America, and past people have past things have tried to sell out America as part of this whole globalist plan. And I think it'll be very interesting times in the next year for America and for the people there. I think I've been to most of the lower 48 states, and I love America. I think it's one of the greatest nations on earth, and I think that it's something you don't want to see go to a globalist melting pot where everything becomes the same and we all have to answer to the UN or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's some weird things going on in our country right now. Hey, our time is about up. Do you want to tell people about your website and all that stuff where they can check out your things?
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm kind of an analog person, so if people want to see some of my artwork, they can go to my Facebook page, Robert Spicer. My main Facebook page has a picture of me and a little calico cat that I'm holding. And also they can reach me on my email. I do industrial design. I'm a contemporary painter. And like we said this evening, I also do research into UFOs, consciousness, paranormal, conspiracy. So I try to tie that all in together, and I create some very interesting artwork out of it. A lot of it has to do with symbols and sort of raising people's vibration. And I've even heard one quote as saying, glyphs and symbols to awaken cellular memory. So I really enjoy what I do. So you can reach me at Spice Flow. That's SPICEFLOW @gmail.com. It's kind of like a little Dune reference, and also my last name is Spicer, so Spice Flow. The spice must flow.
Well, hey, Robert, I want to thank you for coming on Night Dreams and all that stuff, and hopefully you don't get the cold coming this weekend to your area.
Yeah, no, I'm doing some work outdoors now, and it's been lovely. We haven't had much rain, and like I said, I was wearing a hoodie the other day. I was like, wow, this is really nice out here. But yeah, no, we have been known, Vancouver's been known to get down to like close to -10 is about as cold as I can remember in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't get that cold.
Yeah, that's too cold for me. Hey, Robert, again, thank you for coming on Night Dreams. I'm going to let you go. You have a great weekend. It's coming up.
Thank you, Gary, and I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity, and, all the best to you.
Okay, sir. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now, that's things we all have to consider. If something went down, like in our grid system, if it went down, make sure you have water. Now, if the grid system goes down, your faucet isn't going to work. So you either have to have a good supply of water on hand, or get some filters that you can even take from whatever and filter the water if you have drinking water. Food, you got to have enough food at least last a minimum of 2 weeks. If the grid system goes down, 2 weeks of food is not going to, we're going to have serious problems, because let's face it, the grocery stores will be out of food within 3 days if the grid system goes down. We're not going to have the cell phones. We're not going to have TV. We're not going to have the computer, internet. We're not going to have nothing electricity-wise. So make sure you also have something back up to keep you warm, too. Like if you got a fireplace, make sure you have enough wood to last for a while. Again, maybe having a generator and some extra fuel. Again, if the power goes out, that gas is going to go stale after a couple months, and it's going to be kind of useless. That's one thing I get a big kick out watching The Walking Dead. Okay, years go by, they're still able to get gas, put it into a vehicle, and it runs. Have you ever tried starting a vehicle with stale gas? It doesn't work. But anyway, so that's all the little things, and the information coming out has been leaking out the last couple months about UFOs, and it seems to keep intensifying on a regular basis, on a daily basis. It's kind of really makes me kind of wonder if it's being disinformation coming out. Again, we had that person who got killed here, just the other day, by going up to Area 51. Don't go on to any or near those type of military bases. Even if you think you have something that you want to show somebody, don't do it. Make a phone call, at least. I mean, these places, they take security at the highest point of security. So you step on that wrong property, you're going to be shot. You're going to be dead. So keep that in mind. That's one thing. There was again, I was saying earlier, there was a talk show host that was really trying to work up her listeners to go to Area 51 and march on to Area 51. Could you imagine if that would have happened? Well, how many people would have, number one, could have been killed? Number two, how many people would have been arrested and have a felony for the rest of their life? Or been locked up for a period of time? Come on, people. There's better ways to handle this. Do I think the smoking gun is going to happen here in the next month, 2, or this year? As Steve Bassett says, he doesn't think it's going to happen this year. I kind of agree to it because how can I say it? I've been hearing this for so many years that, that all this is this year the government's going to come out and admit there's UFOs. We already know that there's something out there that we can't identify what they are. We already know that. I mean, you'd have to be really not very bright to realize that there isn't something visiting us. Have they been abducting people? I certainly think they have been, because we would do the same thing. Seriously, what are we to maybe a superior race that is tens of thousands of years ahead of us? We're nothing more than an insect. So, I mean, think about that. So maybe by them abducting people, naturally, when you abduct an animal, whatever, you the same thing. You want to make it feel comfortable while you do your experiments. So, do I feel that they're giving off warm and truly loving orbs? I don't think so. But who am I? I'm just a talk show host. I don't know anything. But I'm going to jump out of here tonight. I want to thank you for listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. Also, we are looking for one more show for our network. So if you got a show idea, you want to get it on either like on the weekend or one night a week or whatever, we do have a space available. We have very low rates, probably one of the lowest on any network that you can get on. We do a lot of promoting for our host. We support our host like you wouldn't believe. Our listenership is huge on Night Dreams Talk Radio, so you can get a hold of us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. That's nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Check out our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. You can listen to hours and hours and hours of previous shows. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of hours. I'm out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Everybody have a good evening.
You are listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio Network, from our compound to you worldwide, with your host, Gary Anderson.
Our intro music is provided by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com.